So just when you thought that season 1 of the 9-month cruise was over, they decided to go ahead and provide us with a bit more content. It's a bit like when you're watching a Marvel movie and you feel like the film's ended, you know, the credits are playing, all that stuff, and then suddenly we get an exclusive scene that makes us excited for the next movie. And it just so happens that the exclusive scene in this case involves a fist fight between 4 people on the 9-month cruise. It really is a twist in a story that has the audience on the edge of their seat, but before we get into all of that, I've seen the comments. You know, because in my last video, I said I was going to stop doing the whole previously on the 9-month cruise thing. Yeah, apparently you weren't very happy with that. So without further ado, previously on the 9-month cruise. Adita realizes she's paid double the average wage just to constantly throw up on a ship.
Literally feels like we have been thrown inside a washing machine.
Mark Sebastian tries to cheat at hide and seek.
What if you just don't look? You know what I mean? You're just like...
And passengers realize there's a spy on land that is willing to snitch on all the guests.
You're a fucking bore.
But now it's time to find out what will happen in today's episode of the 9-month cruise. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really have the voice for it. It kind of hurts my throat. So any voice actors out there who want to have the prestigious job of doing voiceovers for the Markie channel, please send me an email. So I don't think it's much of a surprise by now that this whole 9-month cruise situation kind of feels like a high school off the sea.
Now collect your things and move to the available desk in the back of the room.
But me? But why?
Because
The Pinnacle member
said so.
I mean, there seems to be a hierarchy system where the Pinnacle members are like the popular kids at school. People are getting told off left, right, and centre. I mean, Mark literally got sent to the principal's office off the sea. And now they're just starting rumours about people for absolutely no reason. Take Anthony here, who yesterday realised there was a rumour spreading about him on the ship that had absolutely no truth to it.
That I actually went to the nightclub upstairs to say goodbye to Mark. And many people were shocked to see me because that was my first time going to the nightclub. And I've been pretty vocal about the fact that I don't drink. But a couple of people came up to me and said, you know, is this going to be triggering for you? Are you going to be okay? Do you need support in order to do this? And I was like, what? What's going on? What? But they confirmed to me that the rumor is I'm in recovery. And that's why I don't drink, and that's why I hadn't been coming to the club.
Anthony doesn't like going to the club because he doesn't like drinking, therefore he must be in recovery. It's an interesting way of thinking. And like I mentioned, it's a high school in the form of a ship at this point, right? They're just spreading rumours about each other. Honestly, if I had to guess how this started, I would assume that a lot of people on that ship don't really do anything other than drink. And you almost can't blame them because they're stuck on a ship for days at a time with absolutely nothing to do. It's not like they can just go and leave. I also believe that alcohol is free. I could be wrong on that, but maybe on certain tiers it's free. I'm not really sure how it works. But if that's the case, a lot of people are going to be drinking. So since they've been on the boat for over a month, they've probably forgot what real life is like. They probably just assume that real life is just sitting on a cruise ship, drinking pretty much every single day. But like I mentioned a few times, this ultimate world cruise seems to be a school on the sea. But it's interesting because even though there are kids and adults on this ship, it seems like it's the adults that are acting more childish than the kids. I mean, here's a video by a user called Family Ultimate World Cruise, where she goes on to talk about how her children have been treated by certain adults.
The first night we were at dinner, there's a couple of us families were sitting together. We were asked if we would move somewhere else. We had a couple people complain that they're on a world trip and they don't want to have to stare at kids while they're eating.
If you're gonna have a problem with certain people sitting near you on a cruise, maybe don't go on the cruise. And it makes even less sense when you realise that there are cruises specifically for adults. And also, if you're the one who has the problem sitting next to certain people on the cruise, maybe you should be the one to move, don't you think?
I mean, we've had the elevator door closed on our face because they saw kids and they were hitting the button and said no kids.
What the fuck? Who are these people? I am convinced that a lot of people on the ship aren't real. They could be robots, they could be lizards, whatever conspiracy you want to go with, but they're not real. Who the fuck stands in an elevator in a public area and when they see a child about to get in the elevator, starts panicking and pressing the fucking buttons and says, no kids, no! I'll tell you who. Robots.
Kids have gotten dirty looks. My kids went in the elevator once. They just walked in and the guy goes, kids.
What on earth is this ship, man? And look, I get it to a certain extent, right? If there's kids being rowdy and loud, it can be kind of annoying, you know, when you're on a flight and there's a kid crying and whatnot. It can be annoying. But the ship isn't that small. If you sat somewhere and you are so strongly against sitting next to a family with children, move. But how does your hatred of children go so far that you will not allow them to go in the elevator? That's what I don't understand.
Someone actually grabbed my kid and pulled him back because he thought he was going to go into an elevator before an elderly guy.
Okay, right, no. We're going too far here. I mean, first things first, what are the odds that that person had a Pinnacle badge? But secondly, who is grabbing someone else's child? Who feels like they have the right to do that? And actually, I've just scrolled into the comment section of this video to see what people are saying, and Santana, who is someone who actually makes videos about the Ultimate World Cruise, they're an ex-crew member themselves, and they've actually commented on the video saying, I'm sorry, this isn't an adult-only cruise. Anyone who disagrees can disembark or shut up. I'm sorry that some of them have not been kind. And I couldn't have said it any better myself. You signed up for it. It's like going to a hotel on holiday and then fuming that there's kids there. When you knew all along that you could get an adult-only hotel, but you decided not to. Makes zero sense. I think it's just becoming very clear that there's certain people on this ship that are just extremely rude. But I guess that was always going to happen when you're going to have to be around the same 1,000 people every single day. There's gonna be a bad bunch. But now let's get into the fight that happened on the Ultimate World Cruise, and this was a rumour that was going around the past couple of days saying there was potentially a fight on the cruise, but no one really knew if it was true. But this was until a user called Nadine Bauer, who we've spoke about a few times on this channel, she's on the cruise herself, actually confirmed the rumours.
I think I'm the first one to tell you about another square on the bingo card.
I've got to say, I do love the fact that even the guests on the ship are going with this whole bingo card thing. I mean, if you don't know already, when this cruise kind of got announced, it was going viral on TikTok, people made a bingo card and they were ticking off as certain things happened. And one of the squares on the bingo card was a fist fight, and I guess we can take that off now. Like, it's really starting to fill up.
Those of you who think, does that mean we're close to getting a bingo line straight down the centre? No, because the square above knocked up or gives birth on board. The passenger who was pregnant came on the ship pregnant. She knew she was pregnant. She always intended to get off, so I don't think that counts.
Oh yeah, I love the fact that there's some, like, analysis to this.
Well, you see, looking at Chapter 6, Paragraph 2 on the Ultimate World Cruise Bingo rulebook, it does say that the person has to be knocked up before entering the ship to count.
I mean, it was a close call, but Nadine is right. Now looking into the rules, it does seem we can't tick off that box. It's a shame, really.
I'm not going to name names, but I will give you location and date. So not last night, the night before, in Vintages, I have it on good authority, there was a 4-person fist fight that had to be broken up.
Honestly, can I just say, it's not surprising, is it? It was always going to happen. They're stuck on a ship, seeing the same people every single day. They're missing a bunch of ports left, right and centre, spending way more time on the ship than they originally thought they would. Realistically, it seems like they don't have much to do other than drink, and when alcohol is involved, stuff like this can happen.
Disappointing behaviour that it has occurred, but exciting for you guys playing bingo. So you can cross fist fight off.
But Nadine, you just missed out the most important piece of information. Who won? No, I'm joking, obviously. We don't want to see anyone fighting on the cruise, but if anyone does have the video, you can... I'm joking. Genuinely now, it's obviously bad that people decided to fight on the cruise. You spent a ridiculous amount of money to enjoy your time, travel the world, you know, live in peace, and you've decided to spend that time fighting instead. It's a bit daft. Luckily, it seems like no one was really hurt. It got broke up pretty quickly, apparently, and we can all move on and tick fist fight off the bingo card. But yeah, either way, I'm going to leave the video there. Is this going to be the end of season 1 on the 9-month cruise on this channel? I don't know. I originally thought it was going to be because Mark Sebastian was leaving and he was involved in all the drama, but as you've probably seen in this video, he wasn't involved in any of it. I really thought there was going to be a big gap with no drama until Christian Hull gets involved and starts telling us about everything that's happening on the ship, but maybe that's not going to be the case. Maybe it's going to be a continued series, who bloody knows? But either way, if you are new and you want to see these videos in the future, please subscribe, leave a like if you enjoyed as well, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit, alright? Goodbye.